Welcome back to the YTG podcast. It is good to be here. We're filming lots of episodes this week.
Hello.
So, yeah, it's all happening. Today, we have Dominique with us.
Dominique.
You'll learn a lot about Dominique today. She and Sean have quite a history that goes back to Dutton and all that sort of stuff. So we'll delve into that. So we'll start us off. Can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you for having me. It's really exciting.
Mate, we've
It's
been
awesome.
hanging for this. It's going to be fun.
It's lovely. Well, low-hanging fruit. I'm always up for a chat.
Easy.
I'm Dominique Chaleyer, Melbourne born and bred. And, don't know. What do you want to know?
With a very interesting character. With a lot of stories to tell. So tell us, what makes Dom tick so people who don't know you know what you're about and why you're here, apart from background with Duttons and things like that, but you as an individual.
Okay.
Because as you know, we get interesting people on that add a lot of value and different scope to different sides of what we're about. We're not getting someone on here because they're anything more than a good soul that we can have some fun with and share a really good insight on things. And Dom, especially, being in our industry, quite extensive, a keen racer, got an awesome gig now. And so that's my little intro into the wonderful Dom.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I guess to sum up, I've spent the better part of a decade historic racing, an Alfa Romeo in Group S. So that's been quite the wild ride, really, when you get into it. And then I've been in the restoration land for, 12 years now.
With your dad, yeah?
Yeah, so cut my teeth there working in the family business, which was like an apprenticeship, really.
Cool.
Plug for the business, because your
Historic
dad
and
does
vintage.
amazing. Sorry, go.
Sorry. Both cars off.
Go. Turn off.
Historic and vintage restorations, really creative name. You wouldn't know what it was. Out at Blackburn, but yeah, I'm biased. The work's amazing that we do, and
It
working
is.
with Dad for
It is. You've been around for ages.
yeah, yonks and donks. But yeah, now I've moved on. In December last year, I wrapped. Oh no, my God, I got my times
Year
wrong.
before.
So yeah, year before. Fuck.
COVID.
Yeah.
COVID does that.
COVID, yeah.
Because you went to Queensland. No.
I did. I took
Yeah.
a little hiatus. So I wrapped
Yeah.
up time in the family business. It
Yeah.
was kind of always on the cards that I didn't want to take it on myself, just for a whole variety of reasons. Just wanted to try something else, and took some time off. Went up north, got stuck in the floods. Me and my Defender, like fucking Noah's
That's
Ark.
right. Your Defender.
Of course.
Yeah,
Defender. You had a
God.
podcast, Defender Diary.
Defender Diaries.
Defender
sorry.
Diaries,
Yeah,
that's
no, that
right,
was
yeah.
really fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It was good. Just set up an iPhone of all things, and
Yeah.
had people come in and send me the Caro bill for having them sit there for way too long talking about stuff. So I kind of had this weird year last year, and tried working in a different industry just while I got my thoughts together about what the next step was. I remember I rang Shawnee up and I was like, mate, I don't know. One thing that you always told me was, if you're not waking up cracking a boner over
Yeah,
what you do,
fuck it.
Yeah.
it's not right.
No.
It's not right for you. I kind of knew in my heart that I had to find a way back into the classic car industry, but I wasn't quite sure. And then this incredible opportunity came upon myself.
Awesome.
And obviously I said yes, and it's working out really, really well.
Yeah,
I'm
awesome.
super lucky. I wake up every day and I love my job.
Yeah, grouse.
Working hard, great team, awesome opportunity, awesome product.
Yeah.
I'm really in my element, and I look forward to chatting to you guys a bit more about that down the line.
And that's in the classic car section of that.
It is Restoration Land.
Yeah, huge.
Big opportunity.
Can we say the...
We could probably, I think touch on it later down the line
cool,
when we
cool,
talk
cool.
more
Sounds good.
thoroughly about some exciting
Secret
stuff.
squirrel for now.
Yeah,
Well, let's just
but
start
it's
it, but I mean,
Googleable if you want.
Yeah.
Fucking stalk me and you'll find out. So onus is on you, not me.
Be careful.
Some big
Yeah.
money in restored classic cars. I mean, some
Yeah.
of them just...
Oh, mate. Telephone numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proper.
Telephone numbers.
Yeah.
But you know what the thing is, though? It was interesting at Motor Classic Car. We're taking... because obviously... Hello, who's who in the zoo when it comes to fucking resto? Everyone was there. And most of them said, we're not even talking to anyone for 6 to 7 years. there's so much fucking work on in
Yeah.
terms of, sadly, they haven't got the new generation coming through to take it over. So, sadly, from what I can see and what I've witnessed from Dutton's when we were going to buy auto restoration, and I'm walking through the joint, and I remember going back over, fuck, there's nothing we can buy, sadly, because the age was like, average was like 60, 65, and there was no young people coming through. So it was really sad that when you're going through, you see them banging with mallets on wood on this thing. Like, it's just
so
hand.
cool.
It's just, man, that's special, brother. That's an artisan. And like with your father, like that, it's a dying. It's just not going to be there. And that's the sad thing. That's always a little shock. 5 to 6 years minimum, and that's even if we consider taking you on.
Yeah.
Let alone the hourly rate. What's about $400, $350, $400, depending on the place?
Hourly
minimum?
rate. Oh, no.
More.
No, much less than that.
No, well, I
Yeah.
mean, some of the places
Because-
were quoting $300, $350 an hour.
Oh, they're dreaming.
But I mean, I'm like, some of these guys are, but again, you know what I mean? When you've got so much demand and so much work and you can just do whatever the fuck you want, I suppose.
A bit like Ferrari, just charge whatever you want to charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually what you've touched on is a big reason why I, at the time, didn't want to pursue having
Yep.
my own business.
Yep.
I think we've got a big problem in Australia. And as far as I know, we're not training anyone through the tapes
Tapes and
or
that
anything
sort of
like
stuff,
that
isn't it?
on the skills necessary.
No.
There's a problem because there's a huge demand. Like you say, some people have got waiting lists for years and
Yeah.
years. And so what are we doing about it? Well, if you're a young person and you want to pursue it in Australia, you're kind of stuck a little bit unless you're going to go out on your own.
Yeah.
Without saying too much, the big appeal for my current job is there's amazing training in place.
Yeah.
Certification, there's
Yeah.
a clear path and it's super exciting.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big attraction of it to me is nurturing the next generation as well.
But see, what you just said then is also testament that a big global manufacturer in the sports car world sees, hang on, let's just hang on to our roots here. We need to focus and really harness that classic car division because that is a massive market in itself. So if you see them and a factory dealership doing it, so to speak, I mean, that's, I think, testament enough for them to recognise that, hang on, we should be actually nurturing this sector of the
It's
market.
incredible.
Honestly.
It's very smart.
Very
it's
smart.
Incredible.
Fuck, very smart.
It's ringing my bells.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's needed.
Yeah.
It's needed. Like I said, Australia, we've got a huge, massive motoring community.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, your cars and coffees just like bleeds out to bloody Sydney, you know, the queues.
Yeah, I know, we were blessed. It was crazy. But the car culture is, but I was saying this the other day, if anything, it's now too oversaturated. There's a fucking cars and coffee. Mate, there's a fucking cars and coffee every corner and every fucking 5 minutes at one stage.
That's why I don't go to them much anymore.
No, we're not doing them anymore. Sorry,
Yeah,
we are. People have been asking, and we will, and probably March we're thinking. But in saying that, like we had one stage, I think we did like fucking 6 in a space of 7 or 8 months. It was too much.
Had to have a break.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
fucking everyone's doing one. So the cachet's lost a little bit. So we sort of
Yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to
yeah.
stick to the nicer ones of that special event we got coming up, which is Mason's anyway. So
Yeah, no, that's the secret one.
yeah, Secret Squirrels,
Yep.
that one. Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
But it is. You just get inundated with these amazing events, particularly in Melbourne. And there are some crackers.
Melbourne's got the car culture.
best.
It is.
It's-
Fucking Sydney does it. They
Yeah.
reckon they do, but they don't. They just fucking all tool around in fucking late model supercars and hypercars on the drip half of them anyways and
Yeah,
fucking just
right.
tool off. They do have a bit of a car culture, classic, but not like fucking... That was one thing when I went to Sydney, I noticed that. If you drove an old car, man, I'm fucking driving a DB6. And
Yeah.
apart from the jigs, the blokes were like, what'd you drive a new Aston? Man, it was fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas here, it's so different. That's one thing I recognise. Like, driving old Benz, an old Porsche, an old Alfa. Yeah, man. Over there, it was like, you're doing a tough prick. No. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, no. But now it's changed a bit. It definitely has. I mean, that was fucking 10, 11 years or longer. But Yeah, Melbourne definitely has. But that's why Christchurch. You've been to New Zealand.
Yeah, we went.
Oh, yeah,
Remember
fuck
we
yeah,
went?
yeah,
We
that's
went
right,
to
you came with us,
Scope.
yeah,
We went to
fucking
Scope.
yeah.
I sat on the plane.
That's right.
Oh, my God. It was just
That's
with Jim
fucking right.
Richards.
Yeah,
It
that's
was right
right.
there.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And I was in the middle between his lovely wife
Yeah.
and Jim, and I just was
Wait, you
sat
were
there
in between
in
them?
between
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
And I was
100%.
like, okay. And you're so tight in the plane. I was doing these ones, like
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
And then I was like, do you mind if I have a chat? He was so lovely,
Yeah.
He was just lovely.
Yeah.
His wife was just reading a book and just lovely, and
it's grouse.
probably thinking, fuck, who's this crazy bird?
Probably see you at the track.
And I'm like, oh my God. And then, he was at the track.
Oh,
and I
wow.
was like, hey. And he's like, oh.
Not this girl again.
Yeah. You do the classic thing when you're like on the racetrack and someone's coming towards you, you just quickly put your helmet on and get in the car.
Yeah.
I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone. No, but that was the best.
They got a
was
great
the
car
best.
culture there, man.
Yeah, God.
It's out of control.
On the drive here to come here, I was thinking about some of the adventures that we've been on together with cars. And remember when I sold that Maybach?
Yeah, that's brother.
Okay, now this is the best. So this
Fuck, I
potential-
forgot about that.
Oh, I haven't. This prospective buyer comes in. Lovely gentleman, lovely. But he comes also with his translator.
Translator.
And it was just this new
Chinese
experience for me. Yeah, it was awesome. So we're having lengthy conversations and, you get the brief interpretation.
Dom was looking after classic cars for me at Dutton's.
Yeah, so this
and
was
doing
in New
social as
Zealand?
well. And
Or-
doing social as well with Mike and that sort of stuff. We did the best fucking video, but the
Yeah,
website
that
was
was
crashing.
Mikey. Yeah, that was Mikey. He was
That was
brilliant.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like, we had the Testarossa driving around Albert Park. Dom's driving it, and the drone was made. It was fucking epic.
Okay.
It was such a good thing. But anyways, and then she would always walk up. Remember I told you we did the sequence with the bing come on, then Dom
Yes.
would grab the keys. You wouldn't see
Oh,
her.
is that your hand grabbing
That's
the
her.
keys?
Yeah, man, it was fucking awesome. I wanted
right.
to do that again. We did all that shit. Mate, let's do something different. No one's doing that. Let's do that shit again here.
Yeah, but I wouldn't leave you alone. Remember, I was like, "Hey, I've got these ideas for all
Yeah,
these
but it was
videos.
grouse. Do
Hey,
it. Try it.
hi, I'm me. Yeah, hey."
Yeah, no, but
Sean's like,
let's-
"Mate,
just do it.
let's
just do
employ
it.
this bird and
But,
give
no,
it a
but it was
crack."
fucking
So it's good.
grouse. But anyway, so yeah.
The
So
Maybach.
by
The
chance, he
Maybach.
was talking
Oh,
to the Maybach people because I think everyone was go, yeah, talk to them. Fuck it.
Wait, so you weren't a salesman per se?
Well, no, she did a bit
No,
of
I
everything.
did. Yeah, I did a
She
bit of everything.
sales,
Look,
Okay.
it wasn't my forte.
Okay,
but it was more social. And again, it was like just another good bus stop to find the right bus.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it was positive. I mean, like, she got some good stuff out of it. She
Yeah.
did good for us. It was good. We did some really cool shit. So it was good. And then went on to back into the business then, wasn't it? After that, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Then
talk about the Maybach.
Oh my
yeah,
God,
sorry.
dude, I was just thinking about it. And so then, he wants a test drive, which is fine. It's great. But then the interpreter says he wants you to drive it.
Yeah.
You race cars, don't you? And I was like, and I'm like, oh, okay. So we get in this car and it's pretty epic. I mean,
it
there's
is.
just on another level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diamond white Maybach.
Diamond white.
Yeah.
I just felt like so Beverly Hills.
Yeah, it
and we're
was.
driving and it was really fun and it was just awesome. And, he was so happy. I mean, the sale had already been done in his mind.
You're right.
But then he was, saying through to the interpreter, can you go faster? Can you go faster? And
In a
I'm like-
Maybach? That's not what a Maybach's for.
I'm like, no, we
Well,
can't.
they've got a lot of fucking power.
Yeah.
But it's cruising. not
Exactly right.
hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was just one of those just wild experiences. And we had a lot of those wild experiences.
Yeah,
And
we had a lot of fun.
having fun with classic cars. And look, while I wasn't the best saleswoman as such, because I got a bit squirmy when it came to the negotiating part,
Right.
which is not my thing. I loved talking about the cars and all the nuts and bolts and
Yeah.
all that, but I just geeked out and then was just like deer in the headlights when it comes to actually sitting down
Yeah.
and signing papers.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm tapping out of that.
Yeah.
But that was truth. And, look, that was a long time ago and I've matured and developed and my confidence is much better and all of that. And I can wheel and deal now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, there
awesome.
was we did some funny things. It was good. I really liked that. It was a good format that we did.
So what is the Dutton history? When was that?
2017.
Was it?
Yeah, it
so
was
really
2017.
not that long ago.
Oh, 6 years.
Oh, geez. Time flies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had kids and then the time just goes.
Yeah, time's flying.
So how long
yeah.
you were at Dutton for?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So not actually that
not
long.
a lot. It was
More
about
than
a
that.
year.
Was it a
No,
year?
it was about a
About a
year.
year?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
just was like, just got to find my groove.
Yeah.
The request came from Dad again. Can you come
Yeah.
back? We want to scale right back. Can you help me scale right back? And
Okay.
so we did that for a while, and that was really good. Yeah, it was. It's just the way it was meant to be. Timing is everything, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I did the same thing at Lawbeck, kind of like I would talk to the people and I'd get them excited about the car because my car knowledge is great. But as soon as it was like, oh, what's the price? I was like, Dave, Sean, here you go. Have this person.
Look, I suppose in many ways, like the bottom line is the cars sell themselves.
Yeah, for the
Cars
most
do.
part,
You're
yeah.
there to facilitate it.
Yeah.
And why I might say, look, I struggled with it. The reality was I probably felt like I did, but at the end of the day, sales were made because people want that car.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
they want that car. And that's why they're there.
Yeah.
And if
Exactly
you can make
right,
it a
yeah.
comfortable, fun experience, well, that's why they do it through you because it's a great transaction.
Very
It's
much
got to be
so.
spiritually a good transaction.
Especially this sort of stuff you deal in. We're not
Yeah.
dealing in transport. So there's, it's as I was saying to, I mean, the market's softened definitely over the last quarter. Rates, all this bullshit in the
Yeah,
news
okay.
and all the negativity and crap. Market softened, but this sort of market, it's one of those things. It's more of a personal. It's not transport. It's it's a deem of a
Yeah.
want or a aspiration or a desire. So it's a bit more of a. And the people. That's why I love this because you really get really close with your clients / friends. Because it is personal, and that's the thing. It's the experience, and it's what they're wanting and how they want it.
Yeah.
And that's why I suppose why we created this. Really, this sort of space is a bit different, unique. It's not for everyone, but it works for them, and that's the thing. It's the connection. That's the key.
And I think it's important to sell what you love and
Yeah.
sell
Yeah.
what you know. And it
Yeah.
comes very naturally. And that's why Restoration Land is my jam.
Yeah.
Because I
Right.
just love the process.
Yeah.
And I understand why people are willing to go on that journey because it is a journey. It's a journey
Right.
that can take years. And I just get it and I love it. And so it's very natural for me. I get really excited about it. I really love it.
Yeah.
So you got to love what you're doing.
100%.
And then it's authentic.
Yeah.
It's just totally transparent.
that's
Fuck, I
the
love it.
fucking
I
key.
do. I really love
But that's
it.
grouse. But that's what it's about. It's that's your juice, and that's what it
Yeah.
is. I mean, you look at that. Look at that Maserati. I mean, 7,000 hours, 700,000 spent, 50,000 on chrome.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
4
Yeah.
years, and then wins everything at Motor Classica that we weren't allowed to take it last year.
Right.
So like, no one knows that better than you.
And it's
Or your dad.
interesting. Well, that's right. And I think it's a really fun process because some customers don't want to be involved. They're
Yeah.
happy to just send the checks,
Yeah.
couple of updates, they'll
Yeah.
pick up the car. That's their dream car. They probably had a little model of it on
Yeah.
their bedside table.
Yeah.
And that's what their dream is. And they just want to drive it, right?
Yeah.
There are other customers that want to get involved with you. And so you work with them. How about you source that? How about you do that? Well, you come through to me with some ideas and we'll offer you ours.
That could be painful too, though, couldn't it? If they get sort of
1 in 10.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it's like a ratio of life.
Of course,
Yeah.
Right? 1 in
true.
10, and it's a bit uncomfortable.
Sure.
But the majority, it's fun.
Yeah,
like it's
good.
really fun. And man, I really love the journey and the process. God, how many times can I say it?
Yeah, but that's what it's about, though. That's why you're doing it. You're watching someone's dream come to fruition,
Yeah.
and you're holding their hand or guiding them through it, and you're actually enjoying the process too.
Oh, and
Totally. It's like I said, for me, it's still a buzz when you sell someone their first Ferrari.
Yeah.
Because it is like a spiritual thing for some people. Like I said, mate, some people it's like a fucking child experience. Like they're just so in love with the brand. But it's cool when you give them that and you're like, hey man, I was fortunate to be allowed to do that with you
Yeah.
and your first car. So like you said, but yours is different. Yeah, you could be there with the years and the constant back, like that's special. That's and patience.
Yeah, patience and managing expectations from the beginning as well. A lot of people are quite used to the process and know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
Newcomers is a bit of an education there.
Yep.
And they're just excited and they're excited. And then I've met one gentleman who's a wonderful car collector. He's just obsessed with the restoration process and sells them. You think
Right.
you've just tipped all this money into
And
it.
then just sells them.
And then he just loves the thrill of the journey and then has a drive and then it's cooked, done. I'm on to the next one.
Wow.
Very rare,
Yeah.
but really special.
Yeah. But what sort of cars? Mainly Italian old classic? Or
Yeah.
a bit,
Yeah.
That's ideally, no, but if someone gave you an old DB2 or something, you'd do
Yeah,
that? Or,
sure. Yeah.
But ideally it's
personally, God, I don't know. I'm very eclectic in my tastes. I love European cars. I'm pre-war.
well, the Group
Pre-war
S
cars like that
Alfa,
really gets my goat.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Like ERAs, Delages, Bugattis, Alfas, like that's my jam. Specials, MGs, like supercharged, anything like that. I just that Mille Miglia, Targa Florio, the early Grand Prix.
If you see the list of what we've got going on the 18, I'm talking the third. We got
I haven't actually
32.
seen the list.
Mate, there's Delages, there's fucking MG supercharged,
Yeah.
there's fucking old 30 Alfa Romeo race. Like, there's just some fucking epic old Lolas and just some epic shit, man. You should come. It's fucking epic on Saturday. Is that, I can't. It's actually Mason's. I'll tell you after. It's a private
Is that
event.
the 18th?
Huh?
18th.
Yes.
Yeah, I did see that, and I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
If Jack would have told you about it, I'd imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Told your old man or something. I think we took
Yeah,
your old
yeah,
man because you're, well, if you check our inventory, we are selling a very special race car, Group S, raced by this lovely lady.
Thank you.
Tell us about
I haven't
that,
been
please.
called a lady in a long time. It's usually dude and man, and when someone says, lady, I'm like, okay.
You're one,
Yeah, I
you're
forgot that I'm
one of
actually
us.
female.
You're one of us, but you are.
The
Yes.
feminine touch is somewhere hidden deep inside
No,
being a
it's
dude.
But that car, tell us about that car.
Yeah, that car. And look, when we decided that it was time to move her on.
And I felt very honoured that I was asked to, and love it. Thank you. I love it.
Pleasure.
Great.
We weren't
And
going to send it anywhere else.
And
so.
your dad was very happy at the campaign. It looks amazing.
Yeah, look, it's interesting because...
Well done, Nico.
Yeah, well
you.
done.
Thank
you. When we did advertise that, a lot of people started to contact me saying, oh my gosh, the race car, you're selling it, And what people didn't realise and
This is cool.
Dad and I made two.
Yeah,
He
that's
produced
cool.
a clone of the 1965
cool.
Giulia Sprint GT. So the Sprint GT is the Scalino, so it's a step nose, right? And it's a 65 model, and that is SB as well. That's Big Red, number 99, that I raced for a very long time. And then we got so deep into it, so addicted, like it's a problem, that we were like, well, let's make a clone.
Yeah, gross.
Because if that,
Of course.
if she's having a diva moment, we've committed to a race meet, roll out
Mate.
the other one. And
Roll
it
out
was
the
pretty
twin sister.
special, yeah. And look, it's beautiful. It's perfect. It's, the engine's built by Chris, Elite Engine, so a
Yes.
bit of a shout out to him.
Yes.
Last time I had that car on track was 2 years ago at Phillip Island
Phillip Island,
Classic.
yep.
I just decided to do regularity.
Are you doing this year?
I don't think I can. I
work.
just think work
Yeah,
commitments.
okay.
But
Will you be down there? You guys going down there? I think we're
look, Dad will be there. He's entered in.
Yeah, cool.
And he's amazing. You know what? 70-something, still
it's
pedaling
grouse.
hard. It's, you're never
Love
too
that.
late to chase your dreams.
Love that. And driving is one of those things that it's very not age dependent.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
you go and watch Goodwood Revival, and some of those guys going
Mate.
battling sideways hard are like 80 years old.
Yeah,
Like,
man. Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's
So
just
good.
and driving in anger. Driving is
Proper,
pure, mate.
yeah.
Like,
Proper, yeah.
60, $70 million on the grid there, and they're just fucking hoeing into it. It's
Yeah,
grouse.
it's awesome.
That's awesome. That's what I said, mate. I've had all of my just cruise around Daytona. That'd be just fucking epic.
The best.
Yeah. So the clone.
I'd pedal a Type 35 bug like I'd just bring it. If
Like,
I had a bug like lotto
well,
money.
they're going to be there. We've got a couple of going up.
Yeah. I think I know the ones
awesome.
that are. But,
Yeah.
even like I'm a fan of the recreation ones, and I won't drop the brand for various reasons, but they're awesome. I drove them quite frequently in California and
That's
loved
cool.
it.
Yeah.
Loved it. Like, and they cop a lot of heat, the recreations, and I've always been
I don't know.
very pro them because I can see the hours and the work and the vision that goes into
But
it.
I was going to say, there's recreation and there's recreations,
Yeah.
isn't there? And that's the thing. And I was saying this to a client the other day. Like there's a difference. You know what I mean? Like they just use the word blatantly. Oh, it's a recreation, but fuck, how many different recreations of 356s or Cobras or this or even just fucking Daytona? I mean, like there's good ones. And the good ones, I think there's nothing wrong with that, man. I think that's good. I mean, to have invested X amount as opposed to this, and
Yeah.
trying to act like it's something else. It's not. But I think it's good. I think they're great. I've been pro them. I think they're great.
Yeah, and look, once you start getting into the racing world, there's so many grey areas as well.
Yeah, man.
There is.
There really, really is. So people have got to be a bit careful, I think, about how they poo-poo certain things because
Yeah.
I think they're missing out on the bigger picture as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
And but anyway, that's just my little rant.
No, you're fucking entitled to it.
But it's interesting what you were saying about Goodwood Revival and all these 80-year-old men and everything. And I think probably what makes my journey interesting to some people is that I did it so young, relatively
Yeah.
speaking, like in my early 20s, was like, I'm just going to hemorrhage all my cash that I saved up for a home deposit, working from 14 at a bakery, and I'm just going to chase this dream. And it just made sense to me to do it because I've always had the philosophy that if that's what you want to do now, if that's what makes you tick, you got to do it now. Like I'm really like, don't wait. Like do it now because there's no guarantee you're going to have your health or the ability when you're 40 or 50 or whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
do it now.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit firm on that with some people, but and I guess like you said, you got 80-year-olds like fanging around. People forget no power steering, no
Yeah,
air
man.
conditioning,
Yeah.
the heat coming off these engines. Like
People should see their hands on the wheels, mate.
yeah.
Mate, and they're not small wheels. People don't sort of like if you see in cockpit of those bloody. Yeah,
Yeah. They're moving around.
Yeah.
It's a dance to drive.
Mate,
them, Yeah.
and they're hiring into it, man. That's cool.
Yeah, well, you're wrestling, and someone did once say to me, "Oh, it can be up to 80 kilos each corner."
Wow.
Yeah, and you just develop this kind of strength, and so I've got a lot of respect for the older lads going out there and giving it a crack. I think they're totally underappreciated. You got modern car racers doing all of that in their prime years, and you got this gaggle of dudes out there rocking it, and it just it's a very underappreciated sector of motorsport, historic motorsport.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you feel that it's dwindling or it's getting strength? How do you feel it? I mean, okay, granted, COVID knocked everyone on its ass. People were selling cars, they couldn't do shit, nothing.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, they're out there. I mean, most track days at Winton are pretty full.
Yeah, for the most part,
I mean, like, people are out there. Everyone's hanging out for historics this year, of course.
Yeah.
The Phillip Island. I mean, how are you finding it from that side of it?
It's interesting because I think there's so many different factors that come into play with it. Like, let's start going through that. Who are the people that are interested in driving these cars? Jay Leno said the death of the classic car will be, kids not learning how to drive manuals. He was right in
Already.
saying that.
Already.
Okay? And then secondly, the cost of it has gone up frighteningly. I did some maths when I last was out on track and was like, shit, this is why I've just got to have a little bit of a breather on it.
Right.
$300 a lap.
That's roughly what you broke it down to? $300
When you put everything in,
Sure.
everything, the whole prep, accommodation, getting a race tech, all of that, that's what you're looking at.
10 grand for the day.
It's nuts. Yeah, it's nuts. So I worked 3 jobs to make it happen. The other factor is, what is the other factor really? Oh, there's lots. I've lost the plot.
I mean, you have
What happens to me?
but I mean, you have a unique spin on it
I do,
because
yeah.
you're one of the few women that are out there racing and have been around it a long time, obviously due to your father and your father having quite a lot of influence in that area, and you've been around and everyone knows him, and you know, you're the prodigal daughter coming through, and you've now been racing, and so you would see quite a different spin on it to the average person, and I guess good and bad, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, when I started 10 years ago, it's a completely different world.
Yeah.
Like I was the first, and look, I'm full of contradictions when I tell my story, because at times I do have to say, I was the first female competitor to do this, that, the next thing.
But you were.
But at the same time, I just want to be known as a historic car racer.
Yeah.
So it's this double-edged sword, right? And I look back on it and I have this kind of conflicted thing that there were some really tough, dark moments when I was questioning if what's the point in doing this when you're getting death threats. I know I trip on it because it's shocking.
Yeah.
You get death threats and you get people smashing into the back of you. They don't want to come up and apologise to you. They don't want to. Like I had one guy crash into me. I saved it by that going into the wall at Winton. He came up and went to my dad, I had brain fade. My dad said, firstly, go and apologise to Dom.
Yeah.
He's like, nah. Refused to talk to me because
But that's
I was
just
a
the
female.
threatened of a female, and you're out there steering harder than them, probably in front of them, and that's just the small dick ego bullshit.
Yeah, so I mean, there's that element to it, and then you know, we were 10 years ago. Think of where social media was. I think the biggest mistake I did was I was trying to share my journey on social media. My advice to someone else doing it would be just don't get on social media, just do it or handle it to someone else. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It's too much focus. You take off your craft of what you're trying to do by trying to self-promote and try and do all that, whereas just fucking focus on it.
That's it. And I've got no filter and I'm pretty honest. And it is what it is. And I mean, as a female, it's been very interesting. So, look, right now, there's a lot of support for getting women on track, women into, you know, STEM, you know, this whole movement in the profession and motorsport and engineering and all of that. And I'm a fan of that. Whatever helps get more women into it, that's great. I didn't receive any of that kind of support when I was going through it. In fact, it was like it was totally missed. I don't know how much more in it you could be working as a restoration professional and being a historic car racer. And then I've been at the Grand Prix and I've driven there 4 times and and then you don't get invited to the lunch.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're the only woman that's driven there and you just...
Yeah.
It was the lunch wasn't even on my radar, but it was like, you look at the program, you know, women in motorsport, and you don't even get an email or something, and you just think, oh, okay. Well, you can't forget about the grassroots. So I'm always for the underdog. Always.
Fuck, mate.
Like, you know, we're not sponsored in historic racing. That's the other element that makes it difficult.
Oh, you're not allowed to be sponsored?
No, the cards are not allowed to be
That's
stickers.
tough.
Which is bullshit, isn't it? Not allowed to.
Because then you
Which is
have
crazy.
You have
get
to
some
be the
fucking
kind of person with enough money to be able to afford racing on your own wallet.
That's why historic racing, you fucking need a bigger checkbook.
Talk about discrimination in terms of a financial sense. What if I wanted? I literally couldn't. Even if I had a car, I couldn't.
Yeah, you're very limited. Cars
silly.
are the stars, but the ironic thing is too, you walk around the paddocks, some of the biggest personalities driving these cars.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of colour.
Yeah.
You get a lot of passion.
It is, man. I think it's cool.
I've seen grown men completely melt down, lose their shit, fist fights. I've seen it all. I've seen people vomit on their own laps, shit their dacks, piss everywhere. I've seen it. And people go, really? I'm like, think about what we're doing. Think about what we're doing. Tangent.
But especially when you got a field of fucking 30 cars and everyone's just everyone's seen the one corner and
so
hang on,
nuts.
fucking first Ben Phillip Island does not go 10 into 1. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And hang on, these are old cars with you upgrade the brake, but still, it's quite awesome. It's awesome to watch. It is fucking theatre. It really is.
It's theatre, yeah. And, and it gets a bit dramatic. And I made the fatal error of getting a white suit, think you
Oh,
it's
that's
my
right. The white
Steve
suit.
McQueen
Yeah, the white suit. That's right. Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, better not have 2 more espressos before I go out and race.
Yeah.
Go deep into turn 1 and shit yourself.
Brown suit.
But, you know.
What's your favourite track then that you raced on?
It's funny. I love Winton because I cut my teeth at Winton.
Really?
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. Go-kart track.
Yeah.
The 105s, love it. Just scoot around the corners.
Yeah.
Long track's really fun. It's very technical.
Yeah.
Sandown's great. It's a lot of Sandown's a horsepower racetrack, right? So you've got
is.
2 big
Yeah.
straights.
Yep.
So when you're in a mixed field, you get lapped.
Of course.
It's like, oh, hey, Rusty, and oh, hey, dude. It's like, yeah, just going to pass, and you don't be an asshole about it. You got to watch your mirrors,
Yeah,
and
but
there
yes.
is racing etiquette all the way, and you got to respect it. You just got to let people come through. Phillip Island used to scare me so much. I
Why,
really
just-
was quite overwhelmed by the
Just-
size of the track.
I guess the whole aura, the element. You're at Phillip Island. The first time I was like, fuck this. I'm actually on Phillip Island in not a race car.
Yeah.
Fucking driving an Alfa when we ran Alfa Romeo back. I'm like,
Yep.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah. It was like, wow, first time was awesome. Like, it still is a buzz. I mean, the privilege of getting out there and
it is. Yeah.
It's a great track.
and I've never raced there. Like, you've raced there. I mean,
Yeah.
like, that'd be awesome. That would
And
be fucking
God
cool.
forbid you like an ocean view, because that
Come on,
will
that's always-
distract you.
Yeah, man.
And the headwind that comes up, I mean, you just lift. So you've got this amazing grip coming down at turn 1, and then you start feeling that lift.
Really?
And you have to modulate the throttle and everything like that. It becomes a real
Balancing.
skill. Like, I might not be, 100% mechanically minded, but I've got a good feel and intuition. And I
Of the
think
car
that's
and
what's held me in
yeah.
good
Yeah.
stead.
Yeah. And that's a reasonably lively car to drive, yeah, I would imagine.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And I love racing in the wet. So actually, Phillip Island I started to really love. I had a very scary off at Siberia.
Yeah.
Years ago when they had the kiddie litter was like pebbles for the V8.
Yes.
And I just couldn't figure it out. Oh, I followed someone. Never follow someone. I just got sucked into following old mate in front of me, and he
he's
went
gone,
off, and then
and
I
you've
went
gone
off.
straight there.
Where you look is where you will go.
100%.
Yeah.
Right? And I fucking went off with this stride. And I could hear the chomping on the car.
It's brutal.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
brutal.
So that was in Big Red. So, Big Red's been through the ringer with me. Learn once, never do it again. I've learnt how to get Siberia sorted. Then you come up the back, up Hayshed, and then you're coming down MG Corner, and that is diabolical in
Yeah.
the historics.
Yeah.
Everyone pulls in and
Yeah.
over,
I
different
can imagine.
braking points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is fun because you've got the muscle cars too. And so with a little Alpha, yes, you
Yeah,
get
because you
thumped
guys have
down
the V8s
streets.
fucking screaming along. It's like a different yeah. Fucking hell, mate. And they come around like you see the torque, like front left goes up, especially those long nosed Mustangs.
Yeah. And seriously, so the rain comes.
Oh, nice.
Right?
That's
and
when
all
we
the
get 'em
muscle
back.
car guys, they start getting all twitchy about it. And then all the little Euros like us are like, this is our time, guys. Get the army together, We can outbreak these dudes. Like, everyone gets really excited. Like, we might get a podium for once. And then you're going there, and that's what happens. The beautiful thing about a 105 is you can just get around the muscle cars that have to like break up quite back a bit.
Yeah.
Early. Sorry, get my words. So I'm going back like the brain. And you can just zip past and get your brakes on a bit later and just skate around like, see ya. And then they come back, thump you on the
Goes down
straight.
straight.
Yeah.
Bastard.
And then we're like,
we got to do this all again.
and it's fun, and you become mates with everyone, and you just accept it. You just accept where you're at. And so my dream one day is to race a muscle car. That's the dream.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one of my biggest regrets is selling my 1967 Camaro.
Oh, really?
I had a Gen 1.
Like Fatty Mann's thing. John Mann had he was racing the 67 or 69?
Yeah, look, there's a few, like Hubbard's got the Camaro, the orange Camaro, that's
right,
awesome.
that's
There's a
it,
few
yeah.
out there that are just like, I'm like a little kid. When the Group N's come
Yeah.
out, I'm up there, and it's the best Group N. I got a Camaro and imported it from Florida with a vision of turning it into a Group N race car.
Cool.
And then I had to sell it to facilitate another dream that turned out to be shit. So big regrets. And then, so I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking that's where I want to be.
Hang on a sec. My cleaner's here.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's
Hey, it is what
awesome.
it is. My cleaner's
That's all right.
here.
We'll continue. Off you go. Off you go.
I'll have a suck of the old electrolytes.
So when did you start racing?
So I started track days, and actually probably a good little way of explaining this is how I would give advice to someone as well that comes to me.
Yeah.
How did you go about it? What was the way that worked for you? So I just joined a very well-known club, Alfa Club.
Yep.
Huge club. They co-join with Mazdas like MX-5s. And so you do track days, sprint days, so it's just against the clock and you're in your classes. So I did a lot of those and just got my confidence up. They offer racecraft training as well, which is just the best.
So vital.
Yeah. Have you done one of those?
I've never done any training. What I have done is like 10,000 hours of simulator driving. So like self-training racing. Learning racecraft, it's very good because everyone in cars is doing exactly what they would do in real life. So you're dealing with all these other people making decisions that you have to cope with. And it's good for that. But yeah, no actual real life training. So this year's going to be interesting.
No, look, the racecraft training that you can do through different clubs is just the best, you know. I went out, just took the car up. You know, it was so underdeveloped at that stage. I was just, a little fledgling on the scene. And I went out and I actually, because I was doing it all on a budget, I had this green Coles bag filled with towels that I jammed behind me because I couldn't afford a proper race seat. So I was just at the front. To pack it in. And I remember I first went out and had the instructor and I was just like, oh my God. And I've always pedalled Alphas. My first car was a 1985 Giulietta and then I had a 75. And so it's just so different. And you realise at that moment how big the journey is.
Yeah.
And so you do that, and then I recommend to people to, if they want to do historic racing, start off in regularity. Keep your nose clean, pick a decent time.
Can you explain the regularity?
Yeah, so regularity is a division in itself in historic racing where it's not gridded up starts, it's not rolling starts, it's timed. So you nominate a time, and then the competition for you is to get as close to that time consistently, lap, lap, lap. And it's amazing. Some people just nail it. It's so impressive because you know what it is? It's been so clean cut with your gears, with your braking, and doing it like clockwork. Fuck, I can't talk.
Yeah, consistently
clockwork.
Just flowing. And you're just getting your rhythm.
That's it. You do that enough times, you get to learn the track, you get to negotiate traffic a little bit, you learn about flaggies, you just get a sense of how the big events are run, and I really advise people to start there.
Yeah.
And then when you get your confidence up, mate, rip off the Band-Aid and start racing, and it is so wild.
But that's a different license again, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So, you do your... God, it's all changed now. So when I did it was your CAMS level 2 speed license. We can just basically log online and buy one.
Yeah, that's like your normal track day license that you need.
But see, again, hopefully the women or the girls watching that you will inspire, or like, hey, want to have a crack.
Yeah.
What is it? Something they can do online, or they do have to go to a driving school now? Has it changed, like you said?
It's changed, and it really. I always say to people, what's your end goal before you start the journey? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
That's every cent and every hour counts in this journey. You want to be very clear, at least where you want to be, what you want to be doing, and then work backwards. I'm very methodical like that.
Deconstruct it back.
Yeah, deconstruct it. People used to say to me, when I had a bit of skill and I was doing good times, why don't you get some sponsors and go into one of those modern day classes?
Yeah.
Not interested. Don't want to. Said no to a lot of stuff because I'm like, I have no interest.
Yeah.
I have no interest.
Doesn't juices me. Yeah,
Not me. I like to shift my gears.
Yeah.
I like to wrestle.
Yeah.
I want to sweat.
Yeah.
I want the fumes. I just want to like gas out.
It makes sense why you want to race a Camaro, because trying to muscle that
Mate.
much weight around a racetrack would
Come
be.
on. That would be epic.
Yeah, but I
Especially
can
something
do
like
it.
Phillip
You can
Island,
do
the way
it.
the flow and there's so
Yeah.
much weight behind it, especially Tony in the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, you
constant
know,
wrestling.
yeah.
Constant wrestling. in the
Constant.
car.
And like people go, oh, touring car masters. I love TCM.
Yeah.
Power steering though.
Yeah,
Assisted brakes.
Yeah.
Very
Oh.
different.
yeah.
It's new stuff in old cars,
And,
whereas
yeah.
historics is as
proper.
old,
As old.
Yeah.
safely that you can do it.
Yeah.
It's by the spec book, you know.
Yeah, Touring Car Masters really is. It's a bit of a resto mod style thing, isn't it?
Yeah, they still
Yeah.
go pretty quick, those guys.
Oh,
yeah.
fucking
Awesome to watch.
Mate. Yeah, especially and the feel the noise. Oh, unreal.
Yeah, yeah. A good mate of mine, Dean Lilly, who I've done some shoots for and stuff like that. He won the last Bathurst Touring Car Masters.
Oh,
did he?
wow.
Yeah, Tirana,
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah,
Duke
Lilly.
Capetto, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. He's an awesome guy. I should actually see if he wants to come on
Yeah,
the
that'd be
podcast. He's done some
interesting.
stuff. He's won the Tarmac Rally, Australian Tarmac Rally, and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
He's won all of those. His company, Raceworks, they manage. Sorry, not Raceworks. What's his company? Ravage Raceworks. They are like a race car running.
They run the car. For
Correct. Yeah. So Tarmac Rally cars, Touring Car Masters cars.
Okay.
Some of the cars that I think at the 12 hour had some sort of affiliation.
Okay.
Yeah, just awesome.
Did you go to 12 hour? No.
Awesome.
No.
No, you didn't go to 12
No,
hour.
I didn't.
That would be a cool event to go to.
Yeah, we had the
Oh,
opportunity
actually,
to go this
I've
year,
been
but I
there.
didn't go.
Not this year, though.
No.
Yeah, the
Just
sport
go.
category. I'm dreaming.
The
Yeah,
what?
Dad did it once.
Oh, did
I've
he?
not done
Yeah,
Bathurst
right.
yet. Oh, mate, I'd love Conrod Straight in a classic car.
I can't wait to do Bathurst. Oh,
Yeah. Well, we're doing the track at the rally at the end of the month.
yeah. Well, just
Yeah,
driving
we're
it
not-
as
we're
an
not
open
driving
road.
it.
Yeah. Which,
And-
yeah, I'm keen to
but
see
we're doing it.
the undulation. Have you actually driven around the circuit at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Is it as
The dip
brutal
is-
as?
it's
Oh, not at
first time.
speed. Just as a public.
Yeah, correct,
Public.
yeah.
It's staggering. I just can't really fathom. I'm really in awe. And while I feel
the speed they
disconnected
go
by
through
the
that.
new modern racing, I have total respect and awe at how they do it at the speeds, and they're like a mill out
Yeah.
from the concrete
Yeah.
barriers.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like it's crazy. And I think you've got so many different
different undulations.
degrees
Fucking, yeah.
and inclinations and declines and all of that. Inclines.
Yeah.
Inclination.
In-
You might have an
Yeah, but I fucking
inclination
knew
to
what you were
do
talking
something.
about. Yeah, I knew what you were talking about.
The brain works faster than the mouth, and it's an issue.
That's like,
Mate, get me back in the
got it.
helmet. It's the safest place for me
Yeah,
to be
exactly
as a human.
right,
I
yeah.
chose the right sport. But yeah, I've got a question for you guys.
Here we go. First question for us.
Yes, sorry. What's your if you could race anything, anywhere in any category, like what would it be?
Oh, you first.
fuck, obviously it's fucking, hello. I got the world's largest fucking F1 mural. I mean, like, it's just, of course, it's Formula One.
What era?
I would have raced probably 07, 08 is really that real era for me in Formula
Like
One.
when Hamilton was first starting out.
Yeah, those cars, that was the ones for me. That was the last of them. I mean, and all the Formula One drivers go, you know, like even Lewis, they say, what was it? He goes, 07, 08.
Oh, really?
car.
Really?
Yeah, they were great, those cars. But then, like I said, I made it very clear, once Lewis retires, I'm fucking over Formula One.
Really?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to be as diehard as I was. I'll live and love the era that I grew up with.
Yep.
Like, I still remember the day, sadly, watching when Senna, like 90, you know, I'll never, Sunday morning we get up to watch the race. You know what I mean? And just those things. So for me, I'm not, it's Formula One for me. That's it, simple,
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Formula One's always a kind of like a staple. Like, it's the top. Like, it's easy to answer
It's just,
Formula One.
I mean, it is. I mean, yeah. I mean, I do love the GT, like Le Mans and things like that. So if you said, okay, if I didn't have Formula One so much, I don't like the way Formula One's gone, but the Le Mans GT series cars, like racing, you know, the 962s and things like that back in the day, like the story of when we were speaking to Vern and like back in the day, the factory teams. Did you know that they fucking painted, they put tape on their race suits so it looked like seatbelts
And they didn't wear seatbelts.
when they were driving the cars around? There's
Good
a photo that
God.
I posted where the fucking things were driving down towards Sandown. They were driving down Prince's Highway. The
Yes,
three Rothmans
yes,
cars.
yes.
And they put tape like it looked like seatbelts and they're driving. Come on, man, that's epic.
That's a
Come on.
I've
Crazy.
never heard that. Is
Yeah,
really
Vern
cool.
was saying,
That
yeah,
is
how
crazy.
cool is that?
That is, yeah,
And
something
then when they were
else.
doing some testing or something in Europe, but like on the Autobahn back in the day. And again,
That's awesome.
make it look like they had seatbelts on, and these things just like, come on, man, that's cool. Can't do that shit now. Can't do anything now. The fucking, the fun police are fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
It's sad. We can't really. But doing the thing we were doing, with that, you know what I mean? Like, see that? Just the fuck I had to say that because fuck.
Yeah, exactly right.
You know what I mean? But that was a blast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one died.
No, exactly right.
No one had an
Exactly
accident. It was grouse. Anyways, those things that we were
Yeah.
epic. It's like a Formula One car on full noise, didn't it?
So cool.
Oh mate,
So
it's
cool.
fucking grouse. Anyways,
Yeah, so I'd be split.
Right.
I'd be split because part of me also wants to say like the 80s era Formula One, like the turbo era when they were 1.6 litres, 1,300 horsepower qualifying spec. That to me would probably be one of the hardest cars in the world to sort of drive and master, especially
Especially
in
in
qualifying trim when they make
11
that much
horsepower.
power.
You know, like, come on, man.
Yeah, but when they interview the drivers, it wasn't a matter of today like trying to master the corner and master the apex and get the exit and everything. It was literally just we get the car around the corner, we get it straight,
And then just
and
hit
then,
it.
yeah, which just sounds. And you watch like the onboard of the turbo cars going around like Adelaide, which is already a sketchy circuit to begin with. In those cars, mega, but it's a close first second with. Again, similar to what you were saying, the era of Group C Le Mans cars. Anything from sort of the 917s and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Or you go back
epic.
to 70s and like the Ferrari 330 P3s and stuff,
Yeah.
which is some of the
Yeah.
most beautiful cars ever made. There's some documentaries of the 330 especially. There's a Petrolicious video
Yep.
of the guy who has the last
Oh, wow.
original one.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
they take it out on track and he talks about driving it.
Wow.
And the way he describes it like this extension of your own body experience, like the
yeah.
car is perfect. It does exactly what you ask it to. It's not scary. It's like, whereas something like the 917, which is that sort of little bit later, they talk about going down Mulsanne at 220 miles an hour and needing the full width of the straight just to keep it going straight because it floats.
Fucking, yeah.
Because
They
sort of
wander
that
a bit.
era of soft suspension and big
Yeah.
soft tires at that speed. Whoa.
That's balls, man.
Yeah. So
No driver
yeah,
age and fuck me, mate.
Yeah, yeah, but you'd want to drive them in Europe. Like, if you had one chance, you wouldn't do it here on the racetracks here. You'd go over there somewhere. I don't know. Probably not the original Nürburgring because that would just be terrifying.
Spa.
Something
Spa
like
would be
Spa.
good.
Can you imagine?
I'd love to do
A
Spa.
Group C car around Spa would be something else. Have you ever driven around Albert Park as a track, not as the?
Yeah. At the Grand
You
Prix
done
4
the historic,
times.
when you've done
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Huh?
Have you
I've,
actually
no,
been
I've been
around
a
the
passenger. I haven't driven.
Right.
No.
I don't know about you, but for me it was a surreal experience because it made
I would love to, but yeah.
it made Phillip Island feel like Phillip Island makes Winton. Like the grand scale, the fact that you can put all 4 wheels across a ripple strip and still have
the
two
run-up,
2 feet
yeah.
of ripple strip before the track, like just the scale and the size of everything, it was monumental. And,
Yeah.
and the fact that like Europeans have tracks of that scale, like Winton around the corner for us, blessed, man. Like amazing.
And even America, like Watkins Glen, that'd be an awesome
So cool.
track.
Those UK
Yeah.
tracks. Yeah. Oh no, but Watkins Glen is
Yeah,
America.
Watkins
Yeah.
Glen and then
Yeah.
Laguna
Race in America.
Seca.
Oh,
Corkscrew.
Laguna Seca.
Imagine, you know? Yeah, I watched the historics there. Went to Pebble Beach once and
George raced his 962 there
Yeah.
at Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
Where my office was tucked at the back there, which I like to be, and all the crew where the glass windows were.
Yep.
the green glass windows. But in front of me, where we used to do the photos, was a picture of Ben with the Dutton shirt and George coming down the pits in the Blower-Punt 962, which is a fucking epic photo.
So cool.
But that was at Watkins Glen and the corkscrew, and it's like epic, mate. Epic. Boyhood stuff, man.
That's like ultimate money stuff you would do, is that. Like, yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
So cool.
Yeah, fuck yeah. 100%.
So cool.
100%.
Yeah. If you had all the money in the world, what historic racing would you do?
Pre-war Type 35.
Pre-war,
Really?
Like hands down. If I had my dream garage, I'd have a little bit of like 70s and 60s, but predominantly pre-war.
Really?
I'm just,
That's a workout to
bit
drive
of a
those
weirdo
things.
like that. Yeah. Like Helenice, one of my heroes, she was the Bugatti Queen, they called her. Like she was one of, there were other, but females who rose to prominence peddling pre-war cars and doing very well in the Grand Prix. And like, you know, one of my favourite stories is, well, not stories, but facts learning, is they used to bandage their legs up because of the heat coming off.
Yeah.
Heat coming off like gearboxes and off the firewall. They would burn themselves.
I don't think people realise how violent and how hardcore those things are when you actually look inside and you see them. When you get a chance to look at one of those pre-war race cars or that sort of stuff, it's
raw.
Man, it's fucking raw. You not only need
raw.
the balls to dry them, just to actually be in that thing. It's just They're very violent.
Violence is a good word.
Thrown out.
Yeah.
But it's in the context of the era and what other people were doing. Crazy stuff and wars, and people were just stepping up and just they were warriors, soldiers.
Yeah,
and the women
they
had
were.
to step up when a lot of the men went to war, and so it was like a lot of the women back then were tough. And it's
true.
funny because you get that narrative, or when I started, people would be like, "Oh, you do this?" Like, "Oh, it's shocking." It's like, mate, turn around in history. Women were at the forefront of doing it with the men, and we've somehow got this amnesia from, I think, maybe the 60s and the 70s and the whole Desperate Housewives era, where women stay at home and all of that, and that was a narrative for a while, and then we've come out of it, and you got your Michelle Moutons that started to create history, and you know, even locally, like Molly Taylor, and just, you know, her last 10, 15 years. But still, it's this kind of narrative of, oh, I didn't know women could do that. It's just turn around, mate.
Yeah.
Read a book.
Open your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But are you finding, though, I suppose you're not really into the racing scene like you were, I suppose, before, but were you seeing a little bit of a shift where other women were coming, well, you know, I want to get into this. I want to do this. I want to do it. Still.
Yeah, it's interesting. There were two other women that I raced with, at meets quite regularly, and they're tough women, and they did very well. We had shared experiences with injustices on the racetrack too. But then pulling away from it, I realised, well, the men were bullying each other anyway. So, you know, well, that's just one sidestep of the conversation. But yeah, I do. Look, I've always been very generous with my time because I really want to be there for other women.
Yeah.
I hate it when people say you're a role model because I'm fucking not. Like, in so many ways, I'm a disaster. So I'm not a role model. I'm a role model in chase your dreams, like, to the end, like a dog with a bone. But in terms of being a role model for women in it, possibly not. It makes me uncomfortable. But it's funny, I do get some women learn a bit about my journey and come up and say, oh, I wish I could do something like that. And I say, I had that wish too.
Yeah.
For many years, and I talked myself out of it. I didn't think it'd be possible. I didn't think I'd be welcomed. I didn't think I'd be capable. So I just let that simmer with some people. I don't offer too much advice. I say you'll strike when the moment's hot. When you can't fucking not do it anymore, you'll just act on it.
Yeah.
But saying that, you've got to be a bit of a lunatic. And you got to have a little bit of an inner psycho if you want to do historic racing to do what we do.
Yeah.
And I can't comment on the new stuff.
Mm.
So I'm sure you do with that as well. They go so fast, what they're up to, the speeds and the Gs and the downforce.
Yeah.
You got to have a bit of an inner psycho too. But it's not for everyone. And you might be a spectator on the outside having that dream, but you got to be honest with yourself and say,
Yeah.
oh, well, do I have the balls to do it?
Do it,
Because
yeah.
you got to have a lot of courage. You got to have a lot of faith. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not for everyone. So yeah, I think, look, you know, I've seen some women hop on the track at historic motorsport
Yep.
in recent times. I think it's awesome. Also, don't think anything about it. I'm just like, cool, that's just
Well,
another
I mean,
competitor.
It should be just,
you
I was
know?
going to say, once the helmet, I mean, not once the helmet, it should be already, but once the helmet on, you're just another racer.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And should be judged on my skill set.
Yeah, and Molly Taylor, who I love, I think she's incredible. She said this very poignant comment. She said, the car doesn't know your gender.
Correct.
Yeah.
And she's stuck by that.
Yeah.
And she to me, yes, she's a female driver, exceptional level. She's a competitor. She's just a race car driver too, you know?
Yep.
So yeah, I guess it's just one of those things. It's like that contradiction. It's like, yeah, you know, they still have ladies' trophies. Abolish it. Don't need it anymore. They're still segregating.
They have ladies' trophy. I just thought there was a fucking trophy. Really?
Oh, yeah, that's
Fuck,
another
really?
can of worms.
Sounds like it's a whole thing.
No, fuck that. It's
Well-
fucking our podcast. I can say whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
But are
Yeah,
you serious?
yeah,
They have
so
I just thought that was just fucking trophies.
No.
You came first, you came second, the fucking...
Nah.
Really?
I had a moment where I.
Well, that's a bit stupid. I mean, really? Honestly? Maybe it's me. I think that's fucking stupid. What? You're a competitor. You won. Why fucking what? Is that a handicap to a lady? Or
Okay.
a fucking...
So
Here we
there
go.
was a club. There is a club that I'm very fond of. They gave me a lot of support, and they still do, and they're awesome. And every club is run by volunteers, and I should say historic motorsport wouldn't be anything without
Without the
volunteers. So you've got to
volunteers.
give a shout out to the
Yeah.
volunteers.
Yep.
They're incredible. The show doesn't go on without them.
true. Every weekend or whatever.
And with the
it's
clubs too.
Yeah.
So they're doing their best. When I was racing quite competitively,
Yeah.
I had my eyes on that trophy for that class.
Sure.
Right? I was collecting points for it. And then someone else busted on the scene and they became a very, very good very quickly. But I knew that trophy in that particular season was for me. But this person was given the trophy and I just got the ladies' trophy. And the ladies' trophy at the time was given to women that cut sandwiches, showed up and participated.
Right.
No offence, but literally.
Yeah.
And it was so... I think I actually went home and cried about it a bit. And
It would have
then
been gutting.
I was
Because
really
you fucking
upset.
stood on the same platform and fucking, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then actually followed up. I'm a bit of a follow-upper. After a bit of a sulk, I'll think, oh, what do I do about this? No, I'm not going to be quiet. Not going to bite my tongue.
Yeah,
I'm going to
fuck
follow
that.
up.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the points. Can you please give me the points?
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's a bit of a restructuring in the club and we've lost all the
course we have.
points and no.
course we have.
And I was like, shit. And so look, it is what it is. I've won that ladies trophy a few times and it is what it is. And I hope in some ways my tiny little contribution to the
change it.
sport might pave the way
Change,
for a
yeah.
bit of just reframe it, rehash it, rework it.
Yeah.
You know, the sport doesn't need to be segregated. That's
Yeah.
my point of view.
Yeah, just racers that want to race and enjoy the sport. But then are they going to go down that fucking other way? It's not a guy or a girl, it's fucking the old... Oh, well, I wasn't allowed. But you know what I'm saying? That other alphabet. But in saying that, I mean, like, what do you say then?
Well, then becomes, well, look, the car scene, the motoring scene is very archaic. It is. And it's male, female, boys, girls.
Yep.
And they're peddling that notion now, and there's still clubs geared and titled that. Well, is that in line with modern day?
I don't know.
How
Modern
do
day
you-
to me has fucking gone crazy to me personally. But
So you see what I mean? It's a grey area. Motorsport really is a grey area. It's still very old school.
to me, everyone's enjoying a common theme of racing cars.
Yeah.
Let's just forget about everything else.
Yeah.
That's why I just say it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's no different to the fucking black thing with Lewis and all of these crap, and then you got
Yeah.
got a few that oddball thing. Take the colour out of it, mate. Base it on the merits of what he has achieved. It's really fucking simple. Or same with what's his name, Buddy in NASCAR. Same thing. Black guy in NASCAR kicked ass. Fucking mate, amazing what he's done. You know what I mean? So you see the black because it's a unique situation. But just take the skill set and look at the actual points on the board. The trophies don't know whether it's fucking black, white, green, and fucking yellow. At the end of the day, he's achieved what he's achieved.
Yep.
We single him out because of what he is. Don't. You single her out because she's a woman. No, she's a racer. It's, again, that'll probably never change, but...
I think it will change. I think it will change. It
I
is
hope so.
changing. One of my heroes is Danica Patrick, who retired, but her retirement speech is so epic and very important.
Yeah.
And what she says in it, Google it.
for the
if you're
change.
interested, her book's fascinating.
She's doing Formula One now. She's doing...
Presenting.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
Oh,
gone on
yes,
a completely
okay.
different journey of, she's, I don't know, since she's kind of retired, she's got a supercharged engine down there that's, come on, the cleaner. Yeah, it's awesome. So, yeah, look, it's interesting where people's journeys go when they retire as well. Where do they go and how they develop and how they, other facets of their personality. But, don't know, I just went off track there.
No, but we're talking about... What were we talking about?
But, yeah, look, so I guess my other comment on it is it's your personality too. So for me, if there's a table full of women and a table full of men, I'm going to want to go hang out with a table full of men because table full of women is scary and savage and competitive as well.
Sure.
It's never been safe for me in my experiences. I've got a lot of tight girlfriends,
Sure.
but as a whole, so I couldn't personally think of anything worse than racing in an all-female
But is that because why
category.
you'd be more... It's more... I don't know, for lack of a word, fuckers are more bitchy?
Probably.
As opposed to the blokes more
I don't know.
bravado? I guess, I don't know. I mean...
People are people.
Yeah.
People are people, and
Yeah.
people are going to do people things.
Yeah.
It just never appealed to me. I've always been busting into boys' clubs since I was a little girl, joining boys' sports teams, and it's never been, this is what I want to do because it's a boys' club. It's, why not? It's always been the why not. Anyway, so look, contradiction, it's a tricky topic to try and navigate your way around diplomatically and with respect to what people are doing and trying their best to do. But I
girls
guess
get into go-kart too. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot more girls in go-karting. I mean,
Yeah.
I've sponsored a few go-karters over the time, and you're seeing I've got a few mates that are getting their daughters into go-karting. I mean, someone asked me, would you get Sienna into go-karting? Nah, she's too much of a fucking princess, mate. She fucking ballet and fucking dancing and all that stuff. So, no, I mean, I wish you would love to, but yeah, no. But in saying that, yeah, it's good to see that, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard on the body, You get
It's very physical.
5-point harness, like tight and everywhere, like it's uncomfortable, and you lack of personal space. It's quite full on. So look, it's interesting in terms of like my own journey. I don't have children. I've decided I don't want them. And so my legacy will be leaving behind some kind of trust, like a foundation to give to a historic motorsport club.
Yes.
And give that opportunity, like a scholarship, to someone that's showing a keen interest, who might not have the means to get into it, but loves it. And you know what? It's for a male, a female.
Doesn't matter.
Whatever you identify as. It's for the person that just wants it so badly.
Yeah, nice.
And that's my legacy.
Yeah,
Awesome.
beautiful.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
fucking gross.
That's very cool. Awesome. Well, I think that's a great place to end it. We've been running over, so I think that's a great place to end it.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for allowing me to
will you be able
talk
to
all the
join
way
us?
through.
Because we do back-to-back
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. Cool.
But
Why not?
This is awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And hopefully you'll be a regular, because we want to have your perspective on the other side of things in terms of what you see, how things are different perspective. Plus also hopefully we can delve into a bit more of this amazing opportunity you have in front of you now, which is a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
With a very, very old, beautiful sports car brand.
Yeah, I'm keen to talk about that.
Yeah, we talked about that. Really.
Very lucky.
You are. Good on you.
lucky.
No, you deserve it.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's
Thank you.
kick on
Thank
to
you
the
very
next.
much.
Thank
you
you.
all.
I forgot. You know, I feel like I had
camera's
really just a good
Zem
chat.
over there.
Yeah.
That's what it's meant to
awesome.
be. It's just chilling out, chatting. And that's what someone said the other day. They go, just like a couple of mates just sitting there talking about cars.
Exactly right.
That's
Yeah,
what
and
it's
I'm
about.
dressed like Johnny Cash. So,
Right. Thank you all.
All right,
Thank you very much,
see ya.
guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.